Alright guys, what's up? It's Kage. And in today's video, which I didn't think I'd be doing again, but I'm actually doing an updated cyberse Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. So, I'm just going to reiterate this. I do not play Yu-Gi-Oh! Much anymore. But I decided to brush the old deck off and show the updates I made to it right before I basically left the game. And this deck, I'm going to be honest, this is the first deck I can, well, technically it was the second deck I ever built. The first one I built was a pendulum deck, which I still have somewhere, but this deck was the one that I basically started from scratch. Around the time when the first two Yu-Gi-Oh! Cyber stuff came out, I just upgraded from there, and ultimately I will like this to make this the best it can be for Co-Talker, but as of right now, this is what I'm working with, so not much has changed really, but let's get into it. And my plan is, because I'm working on doing my premium Kagero stuff, I'm going to be doing this, then after that I'm going to be doing a, like, stuff I use for Vanguard, so this video, then what I use for Vanguard, then a couple combo videos. In between there, I'm probably going to do a Nova Grappler deck profile, because I'm soon getting a Razor deck. And hopefully by the time all that's said and done, I will be good to go. Alright, so let's get the profile started. So first up, I run 2 copies of Balancer Lord. Basically, when he's normal summoned, when he's summoned, you can pay 1,000. Actually, no, once, yeah, you would think I know what my own deck does. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points, and you can normal summon a level 4 or lower cyberse monster. And when he's banished, you can, I believe it's add a card. If this card is banished, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So if he's banished, you can special summon a level 4 or below monster from your hand. Pretty nice, because this can help go into a lot of the combos of the deck. The nice part though is a lot of the high level monsters can be easily summoned though. Next up, I run 2 copies of D-Gray Buster. Just banish 2 cyberse monsters from the graveyard and special summon him. And then you're able to banish a monster with higher attack than this once per turn. So really good for pesky cards that your opponent may run, that you don't really have much of an out of, and it gets rid of them from the turn that's on your and your opponent's turn. Next, I play 2 copies of Boot Staggered. Yeah, I can talk today. And basically, when a monster is normal summoned, he can special summon him. So usually I use him to go into my link plays early. As in the late game, you're going to have link monsters flooded, so. Next, I run 2 copies of Backup Secretary. I originally ran her at 3, but I feel 2 works perfectly for her, because you can only special summon her once per turn when you have another cyberse on the field, but we have other cards that basically do the same thing. I just felt 3 was a little too bricky. 1 isn't enough, and 2 is kind of that middle ground that I needed. Next, I run 2 copies of Rom Claudia. Basically, he lets you target a cyberse monster in your graveyard, accept him, and put it to your hand when he's normal summoned. And then when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a level 4 or lower, accept him from the grave. So, pretty good recycling power, and overall it's a pretty nice deck. I mean, it's a nice card for the deck, I know what I'm trying to say. 2 copies of Digitron. Basically just use it for my Link Spider, and that's about really it. Alright, moving on to the one-ofs. I run 1 copy of Draconnect, which when he's normal summon, he can special summon a level 2 or lower monster. So, I would like to have him at more, but I only have him at 1 right now. So that's all I have. But basically, a combo with him could be if you have, let's say, Balancer Lord, him, and let's say Digitron. You have 2 Digitrons in your hand as well. Let's just say that. Normal, pay 1,000, normal, use his skill. Alrighty, there's a Link 3 right there. I feel he would be better at like 2 or 3, but I only have the 1 right now, and I just gotta work with what I got. Link Slayer, basically, if you have no monsters on your field, you can special summon him. He's kind of like the Cyber Dragon of the deck, like I mentioned in my other profile. But I'm probably going to switch him out because there are better cards for the Code Talkers now. Cyberse Converter, basically he does the same thing as Backup Secretary. Where if you have a Cyberse monster, you can special summon him. Text Changer, once per turn, when your monster is targeted for an attack, you can target, or you can negate the attack, then special summon a Cyberse monster from your hand, deck, or grave. So, I don't know how to feel about him. He's good in some situations, but with the amount of crazy combos people have nowadays. Bit Trooper, you can send a level 2 or lower monster from your hand to the grave to special summon him, basically. And it's alright. More special summoning powers. You don't really want to use your normal summons in this deck too much. Stack Reviver, basically when he's used as a Link summon material, you can put the other card back, and then when he's banished, I feel like he does the same thing. Or is that, no, that's not. I'm thinking of Thoughtscaper. No, but he does the, effect of when he's used with another level 4 lower monster for a Link summon, you can put that back to your hand. Cyberse White Hat, again, another case of 2 monsters with the same type. In this case, Cyberse, special summon. Nothing too crazy there. Widget Kid, when, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand in defense position. That's right. I'm telling you, it's been a long time since I've touched this deck, so I have to try to remember what some of these do. Link Infrafly, or special summon to zone a Link monster points to. Thoughtscaper, this is the one I was thinking of. When it goes to the graveyard, you can special summon it. When it's banished, you can special summon it, but each effect is once per turn, and then you can only use each effect once per duel. If that makes sense. So basically, once you use his graveyard effect, that's it. Same thing with his banish effect. And this guy's only a one-of because he's way too bricky. I'm just including these 2, Leotron, Bitron, same thing for your Link Spider plays, or if you have any other normal monster plays. I usually like Leotron though because he's a 2000 level 4 beat stick if I get into a real bad scenario. And the final monster of the deck is Triple Effect Veiler. I do have other hand traps, but she's the main one I use in the deck because she's pretty nice. You can only use it on the main phase, but it can negate a monster effect, and you can use it more than once per turn, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think so. Alright, moving on to the spells. So I run 2 copies of Signet Backdoor. Basically, you target a monster, you banish it, you can It's either add to your hand or let me double check. Okay, I already said that. Okay, it's add a cyberse monster to your hand with less attack than the monster you banish, and at the next standby phase, it comes back. This card is one of those ones where if you can't get access to Signet mining, it's a good, option. Sadly, I don't have access to mining right now as I have more important things I need to worry about. Same thing with Vanguard. So as of right now, 2 mining works just fine. Next, I play 1 Signet Recovery. If a link monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard except the link monster and special summon it. That's right. I actually had a combo one time where people kept destroying my link monsters. I just kept bringing back the Grey Buster. It's kind of funny, but it was annoying. Signet Universe is my field spell. I know cyberse is only 1 field spells, but it works. Basically, all your link monsters get plus 200, or no, it's plus 300 attack. And then you can target something in the graveyard, shuffle it, all monsters in the extra monster zone go to the grave. Scapegoat, summon 4 tokens. MST and Twin Twister, spell and trap removal. And Monster Reborn. What do you want to say about Monster Reborn? Everybody knows what it does. Alright, I'm finally moving on to the traps. So I play Signet Regression, 1 copy of it. If you special summon a link monster, target 1 card on the field, destroy it, and then you can draw a card. So it's alright. It's pretty good for some negating. I play a copy of Solemn Warning. I'm not going to get into what that does. Break off Trap Hole. When a link monster is link summoned, destroy all monsters not linked. So pretty much this might be good with MR5, but I'm not sure too many people playing full link decks in MR5. That was more a Master Rule 4 thing, which, if you ask me, MR5 should be called the true MR4, but I digress. 1 copy of Metaverse. I'm considering switching this out for a terraforming to cut the traps back. But I only really keep Metaverse because I can immediately activate my field spell. And, a 300 bonus could be a big difference in this game. Well, not anymore, but at least the time I built this. And then 1 Recoded Alive, which is basically banish a link 3. You can special summon a Code Talker. Alright, moving on to the extra deck now. Not much has changed. Nothing has changed with this. So if you saw my last profile, you won't be seeing anything different. I run Link Karibo, basically special summon. He can be special summoned from a level 1 monster. You need a level 1 monster to make him. Link Spider, a normal monster to make him. And you can special summon a monster, or a normal monster to where he points to. Flame Administrator basically gives your cyberse link monsters. All link monsters you control gain 800. Clock Spar Toy, I don't use his effect. I just have him for just placement. Nothing special with him. Proxy Dragon. If a card you control be destroyed by battle or basically instead of a card being destroyed by battle, you can destroy 1 he points to in it. That's it. Honeybot, it's basically the same thing, except just can't be targeted. Trigate, I mean, this one is just I use as a beat stick. There's nothing special. Then I run one of each code talker. Mainly these are just, I'm not going to go into what each of them do, because at this point everybody should know what they do. But yeah, these are basically the heart and soul of the whole deck. Raster Liger, basically, he can gain attack points for another monster in the graveyard on top of his. I still wish he was more than 2,000 attack, though. And then Zeroboros, which he can be a powerhouse. Basically, he gains 200 attack for each banished monster, and when a monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, or just special summon from the extra deck in general, everything's banished, he comes back the next standby phase. So, like, if it's banished on your opponent's turn, it comes back on yours. If it's banished on your turn, it comes back on your opponent's, and he's even stronger. Alright. So, finally, last but not least, moving on to the side deck. This one is probably the one that changed the least. I mean, yes, we have our tokens. Starting off, I run one Ash, but that's all I have. Nibiru for combo removal. Now, this one may be surprising, but I put 2 Dogoron the Mad Flame Kaiju. Basically, in case I don't get Nibiru right away, which I will like to get 2 more of him. I will like to get a couple spear modes, or sphere modes, whatever you want to call it. Dogoron is another good form of removal if I'm in a situation that I can't get access to it. Tragodia just to fill a spot, another powerhouse. Orlo Dragon, Oral Sword, just in case. Hey Trune, more spell removal and trap removal. A Foolish Burial, Raigeki, and Call the Haunted. So yeah, that's about it. Sorry if this video wasn't exactly detailed, but most of the cards are still the same, minus a few minor changes, but I still figured I'd share it. Anyway, so that's going to be it for now. And I will see you guys in the next video where I do my Vanguard gear or equipment, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, see you guys.